listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's The Originals After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's The Originals After Show.
Hey guys, welcome to The Originals After Show here at AFTERBUZZ TV.
I know.
It's your boy DJ Jesse Janedy. I'm joined in studio by Roxy, Striar.
Spooky, spooky.
Sitting alongside Roxy, Striar is Cortez West. Holy shit, this episode did that. From a cradle to a grave, it's the season finale, and I mean, they done did some things I couldn't even fathom up in my own head.
Yeah, I thought it was an unbelievable season finale. From the start to finish of this series so far, it's just blown my mind.
I can't even talk.
Go Originals. Let's start out. So at the beginning, we see Hayley. She's writing this love letter to her baby.
Yeah, which made us think something's up.
Yeah, I thought it was a dream.
Well, it was wasn't it a flash forward? It was kind of.
It was a
flashback.
flashback.
No, a flash forward.
Yeah, it was a flash forward. We started
To
the
her writing
episode
the
where
letter
we
for the
ended
baby.
the episode.
Because she was writing the letter to give with the child, as she knew the child was going to leave.
So yeah.
So while this is happening, then we're brought to reality, and we see that
I was just gonna say, I thought it was really interesting. She says that the baby needs 3 things: a safe home, somebody say I love you every day, and someone to fight for you. So I thought that was, that's what started our episode. We know that the baby needs those 3 things. So we knew something was gonna be off because she was writing that. So what was going on there? Which was interesting.
Well, what was going off is that the witches had Hayley on a sacrifice table where they're delivering the baby. Klaus tries to stop. This was like a really cool, epic.
It was horrifying.
I thought it was so
really
epic.
was.
Yeah.
Just Klaus, running and being thrown against the wall, and Hayley screaming.
Who was that he snapped? He just like.
And if you think about last week, he had literally no strength at this point, and he came in hot and snapped somebody's neck, killed them. And I thought it was really interesting the way they played this, how the witches throw him up against the wall as if he was, when he's sprawled out, as if he's Jesus. And it's the first time we've seen Klaus, A, helpless, and B, like in that godlike position, that we're thinking that he is being crucified for something that he didn't do. It's I just thought that was beautiful.
That's
and horrifying.
All right.
I want to apologize though from last week though, because I did say I want Klaus to die, and I kind of got some bad vibes from you two. They were like, "How did he just say that he wants Klaus to die?" No, I don't. At this point, I don't.
Not anymore. You're now
No.
Team Klaus.
No, I'm. Team
I think
Klaus.
I'm in love with him though. So that's kind of uncomfortable.
Why? Because he wants him dead.
No, just it's just uncomfortable because I don't think he's in love with me back.
Really?
I'm not positive though. He might be.
Safe assumption.
Yeah.
Safe assumption.
Yeah.
So while they're trying to deliver this baby, they deliver the baby. Genevieve allows Hayley to hold the child, and
Miss Monique make me hate her even worse.
That's fine, but Miss Monique, you did 1 slice, but that's why you got 1,000.
I mean, it was so all these little cuts. So death by paper cut basically is what it was, which couldn't sound more painful.
Oh no, that slice to Hayley's throat.
To see Monique die.
Oh well, we ain't even there yet.
We're not quite there, but
Hayley's getting her throat sliced.
I literally turned to you and I was like, Jesse, is that it? There's no way that Hayley just died.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, yo, they are gangster for doing that on the show. Y'all done killed the mother of the child.
It came out of nowhere.
Sure did. I was like, but see, then they brought her back, and I was like, I'm glad y'all brought her back, but I would have really fucked with y'all if y'all really killed Hayley. If y'all were like, nope, that's it, you're done.
See, that's the problem.
As one life comes, another ends.
Right, it's the balance between those two things. I love shows such as Game of Thrones who they're like, we don't care. We're gonna kill you. You know what I mean? Like, we don't give a shit about one individual. It's about the greater purpose of the show, and they'll kill off whoever. It's your favorite character. It's you don't know. They're gonna kill him. So I was like, oh my god, I can't believe they just did that. I love Hayley so much they killed her. But wow, the good for them that they are doing this for the storyline. And then when they bring her back, I'm like, oh thank God, because I loved her. But it was kind of cool that they were willing to cut people loose.
Wait a minute. Am I bugging? Did my brain fart? How did she come back?
She comes back because she's a vampire. Because she's got the vampire blood in
She's a
her.
vampire.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know why I'm seeing my brain keeps flipping
Part
from Vampire
vampire.
Diaries to
Part
this.
vampire.
Right.
So I'm like, wait, have we worked on the other side yet?
Okay, right.
Haven't.
So that's.
But it's kind of interesting that that's kind of just wasn't spoken about.
Right,
I mean,
and
it
it
was
just came out, and she just came up. Yeah, I was a little shocked.
It was spoken about a couple episodes ago, but we didn't hear about it tonight. Which later on we'll talk about the very end scene, and I'll give my theory on the other whatever. But we know from watching Vampire Diaries that the other side is still in limbo.
Well, and it's starting in Mystic Falls, so it won't even really reach them
Right.
until.
Right. They're far.
Ooh, and that's gonna cause a lot of tea with the witches.
Yeah.
All
Absolutely.
right. So they slice her throat. They take the baby. Now we get this flip side of Davina and Josh, where Davina has created a spell to help, which she thinks is going to help all of Marcel's vampires, mostly Marcel and Josh.
Well, you mean getting the blood?
Yeah.
Getting the
She
blood.
finds out that Marcel got in a fight with Klaus and was like, where was it? It was their blood. So she
Right.
takes all the blood and picks it up.
And she creates this spell, a drink for them to drink, and she can't choose between Marcel or Josh as to who she wants
And Marcel chooses
to have
Josh.
this. I mean, as he should have. I mean, that would have been really. Imagine if he was like, "Here, I'll make the."
But I just don't understand. If there's more than one drop, isn't that like how much of this do you need to chug?
Yeah, because it seems like Hayley only just
Right.
did a prick.
You prick,
so I'm like,
right?
Yeah.
Like, was that really that little amount that he had to gulp, 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 gulp? Like,
Yeah, I don't know about that. It was a little weird, a little awkward.
like Haley's was obviously different because her drink was for transition, not for life. But I don't know. I still think
I still feel like they could have split.
They
it.
still could have. Yeah.
Could have watered it down a little bit.
with you.
All right, so they're there with Cami, and Cami says, "Look, if you're gonna go get blood from Klaus, I have an arsenal of weapons. I'll let you look at it." So she brings them to this closet.
Isn't that weird though? Because we didn't hear anything about the weapons last week. I
Yeah.
thought that this had a bunch of writing and.
But no, when she first walked into the room, she picked up a weapon. It looks like a big needle. So it, a bunch
Okay.
of weapons were there.
I just was like, huh.
And then I think Father K said something to what did he say? Your uncle's secrets are gonna what did he say?
Can harm you.
Yeah, can harm.
And
you.
so that's why she's like, well, shit. I mean, if they're going to come after me for
Yeah.
this, I might as well tell some people about
Exactly.
it so
Right.
I'm not
Yeah.
the only one. That was smart of Cami.
Yeah.
Was it?
It wasn't smart because she was, Marcel was like, why do you trust me to do this? Well, it wasn't even him. It was little slippery fingers back,
Yeah.
sticky fingers over here.
Right. I mean, and,
Davina.
but at least she did that because otherwise, without that star ninja thing, we wouldn't have been able to do what we did. But yeah, Davina, you sneaky, sneaky girl. I'm
And I
sitting here
love
for
it.
the last few months standing up for you, saying like, "Yo, you're too good. You're too naive. You're only 16. You don't know any better." Klepto over there.
Well, no,
what
I said
16-year-old
it.
isn't,
I said it
but-
when I first joined you guys. I said that Davina was gonna come back, like strong.
With a vengeance.
Yeah, she was gonna come back strong because she had witnessed those powerful powers that she had before.
She sure fucking
And
did.
did you see how like easily like she was doing those what is
Yeah,
it, rituals? She was just like, yeah, it was just so easy for her. So
She has
She's
motivation.
like, Monique
Yes.
who?
Yeah. Monique Hill.
So yeah, we find out about the Devil Star, which one cut creates 1,000. We see Michael's working with Davina, and she's working with him to bring him back to kill Klaus.
Or so we think.
So we think.
right, yeah.
Which leads to Michael waking up. He kills a whole bunch of vampires. Poor Diego. I really was hoping for it. I was really hoping for you to come back second season.
Yeah. I know, you love Diego.
I
I
do.
felt really bad for you in that moment. I kind of looked over and you were like,
I couldn't believe it. I was like,
job,
really?
yeah.
But all right, we still got Josh, so I'm excited. And then we find out Davina, she brings Michael up into this where she was held captive. And to his surprise, she's like, I was chained up in here 8 months, locked up. Now you're going to know how that feels.
Neil. Yeah, she says that. She was like, I brought you back
Neil,
to hurt
yeah.
him. I brought you back
To
to hurt
punish
him,
him.
to punish him when I see fit.
So basically, Michael was going to to where Klaus was to kill him, and that's when she stopped him. And I guess she put the spell on him to where he cannot go to a certain distance to Klaus or something like
No,
that.
he can't leave the attic, I think. is
No,
what-
they
Yeah.
weren't in the attic. Well, no,
Yeah.
she put the spell on him once they got to that. She dragged him to the attic. Once
Right.
she got in the attic, that's when she put the spell that he cannot leave the attic.
Right, exactly.
But during the process of bringing him back, she also put in the spell that he cannot go and touch Klaus, period.
No, I think she was just keeping an eye on that. Like,
Oh, I
She-
thought that it was.
No,
that
she had control.
did it.
She had control.
control.
Not like she can't go to this certain amount of space to Klaus. No, it was like, no, she had that bracelet on.
So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
wondering that bracelet's gonna
Get
What
it.
hand
And that's why I hate.
Klaus
what
That's why I
bracelet
hate.
that's on, yeah.
That's why I hate when she showed it to him. I was like, why would she tell him what she's using?
because she's like 12. She don't know no better. All right,
Sticky fingers.
Sticky.
sticky.
I still love it though because she has nothing to do against Cami. Like she doesn't have to like really because they're friends, right?
Yeah.
So she's
the
really
vampire.
kind of doing it to like just get back at Klaus. Period.
Right. Did you
all
guys
right.
find it kind of weird though? I'm jumping back a little bit when Elijah walks in and finds Hayley and Klaus on the ground. Like, didn't you find it weird that Klaus was sitting with Hayley? I thought that he would have gotten right up and after his baby, and he's just like sitting there, devastated about Hayley.
But no, he knew that they had to wait till the moon.
So it's still time wasted.
I took it as he was wounded. There was really no point of him like leaving Hayley
yeah.
for to make sure that Elijah comes, and then not only that, if he was to chase after the witches, like look what they just did to him. So
I guess I
to
just thought it
chase-
was weird. He just strikes me as somebody who, like, those dogs that you see, they're with an electric fence and they'll walk through it and they get zapped one time and they do it again. They get zapped another, and 10 times like, they're still getting
Just
zapped.
until they get out.
Like, exactly. So it's some dogs get zapped and never do it again, but other ones just keep doing it. And Klaus to me is just somebody who keeps doing it and doesn't even matter if he's getting hit, he's going to keep doing the same old thing. So I was surprised he even sat there with Hayley at all. I thought he was going to, once he got down from the wall, like, go with a vengeance, but he...
Well, that's what made the show. As the writer, I would want to do something different too. Because we're so in this mind frame of thinking how Klaus is. We already know how Klaus is, and for him to do something different, it was kind of like made the moment even more like.
No, absolutely. I think it showed maturity that he cares for the mother of his child.
Yeah, like what
Finally.
Haley just went through,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I mean, he saw her die like,
in front of his
come on.
face.
Yeah,
He couldn't do anything.
even his face then was just like, oh
Child
my
was
God,
taken
she's
from
dead.
him.
Yeah.
So him and Elijah go on this crazy chase to stop the witches, and they're in the cemetery and they keep passing the same thing. They find out the witches have done this spell which makes this one section of the cemetery.
It was like a maze.
Yeah.
Which was dope. When Klaus got on that top of that building and looked over and saw that, I was like, "That's dope."
That was cool.
That was really dope. But I wrote down something I want to go back if you don't mind, just very quickly. The objects in the rooms were dark objects created by witches.
Right.
So Father K was collecting them throughout the years and kept that room a secret for a long time. So those weapons that they actually have in that room were created by witches. I thought that was dope.
And very dangerous.
Yeah.
So Monique was killed by her own. Like, come on now.
Karma's a bitch.
Karma's a bitch.
Elijah, they're in the cemetery. Elijah yells at Klaus, basically saying, you screwed your life up. You should have known that this would happen. You're blaming all these people, but you created this world.
Yeah, at some point, even if you're all powerful and mighty, if everyone's your enemy, you're kind of screwed. But I thought that this was the least relevant time he could have said that, because this wasn't about him having enemies. This was about the witches being after his son.
Yeah.
He could have been the nicest guy in the world. I think they still would have been after this hybrid child.
I think it was more of, we wouldn't be in this position. Yeah, they want this hybrid child. Yes, they do. But we wouldn't be in this position of not being able to go to anybody, not being able to.
Absolutely.
But the child
Ask a
wasn't in
witch.
the child wasn't in the play until Genevieve says that she wants to live. What can she do to? And then they said they want the baby. Remember?
yeah.
No, they've always wanted to kill the baby. That's always
Yeah.
been the
The
plan.
witches?
Yeah, they've always wanted to kill the baby, but it never was. Oh,
There was
we'll use
never
the baby.
a set
yeah.
plan as to when
Right.
they were
Okay.
going to
So
kill it.
that's got it.
Because remember, or even when the wolves wanted to kill the baby, when they took Hayley into the thing, everybody wants this baby. Well, actually, not necessarily to kill it, but everybody wants the baby for some personal gain.
Then we see, Elijah's yelling at him, but we see that he's yelling at Klaus basically because he's so hurt. He said, "You've broken me. I let Hayley in, and now she's dead." That was a really
deep.
intense scene for Elijah.
That was deep.
Yeah, and again, I feel like Klaus deserves a lot of this hate, but not right now specifically. Like, you can blame Klaus for a lot, but
Yeah, to say, like, why didn't you stop her?
Yeah.
Like, well...
I was
Like, he damn tried.
Right. Did you see that? The wall of witches?
like, this could have been Caroline. This could have been this could have been anybody. He could not stop this.
Literally.
It was his own damn child. You know, like, I would get it if there was no kid in there and it was just Hayley and Elijah was like, you didn't try, but like they took his child. He obviously tried.
Right. So within that, Hayley wakes up crazy, which I didn't even believe if it was going to
Her
happen or if she was
eyes.
going to be in the other thing. Oh, yeah, that was
When
a
she
great
wakes
scene.
up and she has those flashbacks of what happens and then spot on acting, the eyes, just like
At that point, that's why when she found Klaus and Elijah, she said to us, what she said to them, I knew right away what I needed.
yeah.
And we saw it in her eyes.
That
like, in
baby
her eyes,
blood.
she was like, "Ugh." And I just thought it was dope that she can like sense her baby and feel her baby.
yeah.
Well, see, she can sense her baby,
blood
but she
is
can
in
sense it because she's in transition. She needs
that blood to
Yeah.
survive.
So I wonder if she didn't need that, would she still be able to have
Have
that
found
connection?
some.
Same connection. Probably so.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah.
Potentially. We don't know and we won't ever know.
Yeah.
But
So the baby's blood was still inside Hayley when she died, so now it's causing her to transition into a hybrid. Now that's mirroring. We see Monique talking to SAG actress,
Finally.
which end of the road for you, bitch.
yeah. But at least she got her card before she
She
went.
did. She got her card, and she got a couple episodes of speaking
more
lines,
scenes.
right?
Mhm.
Monique wants Genevieve dead because we see that Monique really cares about Cassie,
Right.
the fourth witch.
Right.
Which I'm like, bitch, you care about this girl, but what
haven't-
about your cousin?
Cousin, yeah.
That too, and we haven't even heard her. Like, we didn't even know what this girl's name was until tonight. So all of a sudden, you're like, "What about Cassie?" I was like, "Who?" I mean,
Do we even get the Sans actor, her name?
no, I don't
Yeah.
even know what that was.
I don't know her name.
But honestly,
I call her SAG.
I thought that was interesting because then why when
Like,
shit
now you
hits
have a
the-
heart.
Yeah, now you have a heart, and also when shit hits the fan, why are you trying to be the one to kill the baby? Why wouldn't you go and attack Genevieve at that?
Because she was trying to kill the baby while the baby was still inside of Hayley.
Because she didn't have the plan at this point.
Yeah, she didn't know what the plan was. So what I'm thinking is she doesn't want to kill Genevieve because then that's going against your own people. So she
Right.
was saying, I don't think Genevieve will go through with it. If she doesn't go through with it, then the ancestors will get mad at Genevieve, kill Genevieve,
yeah.
it'll bring Cassie back, and then we can kill the baby.
Right.
So that's her
Smart.
whole plan.
Right, okay.
As far as
Okay.
getting that fourth girl back, because she cares so much about this girl. Like, is this a lesbian relationship?
Okay, so
Like,
now that Genevieve is dead, and Monique's dead, and Sag's dead, are we gonna get Cassie, or is the harvest kind of?
I don't know if the harvest is fucked now because
Yeah, I don't know.
the other two witches are dead.
I feel like the fact that they gave her a name tonight, maybe we heard it before, but I don't remember.
And
But-
we saw the grave
and we saw, yeah.
at the end of the episode.
I think that, well, the grave was Esther's.
No, we saw Cassie's grave.
Oh.
We saw Esther walk past Cassie's grave. So that's why I was like, are they going to bring Cassie back?
Yeah, I
Because-
feel like she's coming back.
And I knew they wanted us to believe that it could be Cassie as
Yeah.
well, but
Yeah, absolutely.
interesting. So then we get to the ritual. The witches' ancestors, Klaus, Elijah, Hayley, they show up right as they're about to stab the baby. And I really like watching magic fighting. I
do too.
I enjoy it. And so like the whole like the witches holding each other, they brought Charmed into it. Like, you don't want to fight the power of 3.
Yeah, it was a badass fight, though.
Yeah, and
dope.
just seeing the wall of the old witches, like, that was just really cool.
Yeah, like you were talking about with the epicness. You know, this to me, you know when you watch a season finale and you're like, that was a finale? This to me felt like a fucking finale.
Like Lord of the Rings, the last one.
And I wanted more.
Twilight.
So that makes it a finale. If it leaves you wanting more, that's a finale.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially that last scene. Oh, I know, we'll get there.
Klaus kills Sagcard. And then Marcel kills Monique with the Dark Star, the Devil Star.
Out of nowhere. I thought that was crazy.
Right.
And he takes the baby.
Cut. That was crazy.
That was the
She was just cut.
Is that a remix?
Right, I was like, what?
Marcel takes the baby and brings him to where all his vampire clan is, which he finds is dead. And Klaus just kind of realizes all you wanted the baby for was so that would heal you. Like,
I think he found Marcel at a very vulnerable moment, and he fell in and was like, okay, I understand.
yeah, like he healed. I'm surprised Marcel actually took the blood a little bit.
No, after what Klaus says, like, you know, Marcel says, I'm sorry, and Klaus says, you saved my baby. Like, you deserve this.
Yeah.
Then I wasn't surprised. Because he was hesitant. You know, he didn't immediately, like, suckle on it. I don't know why I use that word either.
So we see Genevieve. She's chained up.
Did you guys think that it was interesting that Klaus said, we'll take down whoever brought this upon us, I swear it. Did you think it was interesting that now they seem to be, like, back and better than ever?
Him and Marcel?
Yeah.
I thought it should have happened.
I loved it.
Yeah,
I thought it was amazing.
Makes sense.
I need them to be on the same team.
What confuses me sometimes is some of the scenes, like the whole, like, Genevieve can do that thing to anybody, like for Hayley, like she does a little thing to distract them or make them, whatever.
Brain freeze.
Yeah, the brain freeze or whatever that is. Like, how can we come from, she was doing it to Hayley, and then all of a sudden they have power to chain her to a wall, and she couldn't stop them. I didn't understand that.
Well, because the ancestors at that point were taking
Weakening
away her.
her?
Because then she's bleeding from the eyeballs. Come on, man.
And her hands were
How
chained.
You
many
don't like the
times-
bleeding from the
I keep
eyeballs,
asking
right?
them
Yeah.
to stop doing that. They're not listening to me. I can't take the blood
Well, all the
from
witches are
eyeball.
dead now, so
Well, don't ever watch Heroes.
You,
Genevieve's chained up. We find out that Esther, Elijah's and Klaus's mom, wants the baby dead.
Yeah. And that she's not going to stop until the baby is dead.
no matter where you run. Where you go.
Crazy. Your grandmother wants you dead.
Yeah. Esther's a B-I-T-C-H. Who do we hate more, Michael or Esther? Like, who's the bigger demon?
The bigger demon is Deemer. The biggest demon is Esther to me.
Yeah, because she controls people.
Yeah, Michael is, like, outright scary. Like,
You have to-
everybody
you
knows,
have
but
to literally-
Esther's sneaky scary.
Yeah, and you have to literally almost beg someone to bring you back. Like, come on.
You know what's interesting about Esther's story is, you know, now that we know what travelers are from the Vampire Diaries, and where does Esther fall in as far as good magic and witch magic? Because witch magic supposedly is supposed to be evil, and whereas the traveler's magic is pure. So it's interesting to me that Esther wants to get rid of vampires because she feels it's an abomination that she created.
Well, I'm going to jump ahead for a second here, but maybe this has to do with something with what magic she is, because we see in the last scene, we see this man and this woman, or more like a boy and a girl, and the boy refers to the girl as mother. We're standing at Esther's grave, and he says, may she rest in peace, and she says, what fun would that be? So we assume that's Esther. So I'm sitting here online doing some research, because we know that there are multiple sons in the family. And when I looked at vampirediaries.wikia.com, it says that Esther's currently, her status right now says, alive, possessing Cassie. So that's interesting. Maybe, I don't know how that happened.
That's makes sense, because I was like, when they showed Cassie's grave and the feet walking past, I was like, why are they showing this to us right now? Do they want us to believe that this is Cassie?
Right.
And then when they threw the
the
rose down
body.
on Esther,
Cassie's
it
body.
was like, right. Well, I
Right.
thought it was I thought it was Cassie coming alive at first.
And
then when he calls her mother and we see Esther, now it
Right.
makes sense. Obviously, she's in Cassie's body, but then that means where's Cassie?
And at the time, I turned to you and we were like, Cole? And then I was like, no, because Cole was just on the Vampire Diaries and we see he's stuck on the other side and trying to convince them to fix the other side, so it couldn't be him. So then we got to think it's Finn. So I went to Finn's status and his says alive, possessing Vincent.
I would assume that's probably
Vincent. Yeah.
So
So they are acting like travelers now, apparently.
yeah. So that's when you're talking about what kind of magic they are. I don't really understand how this harvest allowed Papa Tunde and Genevieve and all of these people to get inside somebody else's body, because the only time we've ever seen that before is with the travelers who are able to be in someone else's body, and the way to get them out is with that knife, we know. So I don't know if it's that kind of thing with the traveler, or if this is a different kind of harvesty thing and that they have come back in the harvest, because I don't know.
Yeah, and I wonder what all of a sudden raised Esther and Vincent.
I think it's part of the harvest, maybe.
the harvest.
The
now that-
harvest
yeah.
gone wrong. This is what happens, and she's powerful and she's flipping things.
She has to take matters in her own hand.
Hayley wants to give up the baby.
Well, not necessarily.
Well, needs to put the baby in a safe place.
Yeah.
Could have been a cool opportunity for Vampire Diaries to come in,
Yeah, I was thinking
but then is it even much safer
over
to
Mystic
have the
Falls
baby
right
in
now.
Mystic Falls?
No.
So then we see Rebecca ends up meeting up with Klaus.
That made me smile.
That moment, it made me smile on so many levels, because it starts making me think about this Claire, the girl who plays Rebecca, her whole life, what is really going on in her life?
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
you came back to the show, which I'm glad that they chose that.
I turned to you guys. I'm like, did she fly from Australia to Georgia to film this one scene?
Mm-hmm.
Damn right she did, because it was worth it. I'm thinking. I mean, maybe she.
That was
could've
probably
filmed
one of the
this
best
stuff.
scenes of tonight's episode.
It was one of the best scenes
yeah.
I've seen in the season.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. And I was thinking in my head, did I wish that she had interaction with anybody else? Did I want to see her with Marcel? And you know what? I thought that this was perfect.
This was perfect.
The way she left the terms she left with on Klaus were very unsettling, and this was we
It
are
wrapped
bigger
it
than
all
this.
up.
Yeah. I just thought it was beautiful.
You can picture her sitting in her house with the white picket fence,
And she's looking-
with hope,
Right.
playing on the swing set.
And she wants to know what will make her happy. She's been searching for this happiness, and she finds all these men, and maybe it's not that. Maybe it's this kid.
They deserve that.
No, absolutely. So,
Which will be interesting for the future to see what happens when the child is
Is of
ready to go
age.
back.
right.
Yeah.
It was sneaky the way they did this all, when Marcel goes up to Oliver. By the way, interesting that he went up to Oliver and not Jackson. And is like, yeah, I think Klaus is going to pick our team because look what you wolves did to the baby.
Well, Oliver is with Francesca now, so that's why he went to Oliver and not Jackson.
And Jackson's not with Francesca?
No.
Wait, what do you mean Oliver's with... Yeah, but I don't think Oliver is openly with Francesca.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
with her
that-
tonight.
she has a stone.
Yeah, but
He has-
does
she
Jackson
gave-
know that?
Francesca met Oliver to give Oliver.
Well, that's
the
because
stone.
Oliver did the whole thing with the bombs.
Right. So they're close together. Jackson.
They're
didn't know
working
about, Yeah, they
together.
work together.
Yeah, but if she was speaking like this publicly, then wouldn't Jackson know that Oliver had turned? And also wouldn't... I don't know. I just think that's weird.
That's just probably just an up in the air question. 'Cause
Yeah.
That's something that
We don't know.
Yeah.
So everyone's pretending that the baby died from the Guerra attack. Within that, a really cool scene, I like the Cami and Klaus scene,
I was just...
where Klaus blames himself and tells Cami to leave him alone.
Well, he says everything I think is beautiful,
Beautiful.
dies, basically, and you are beautiful. I don't this was one of my only issues with the episode tonight. I don't want Cammy and Klaus together. So, I think this was supposed to tug on my heartstrings, they're supposed to romantically be involved. But I'm such a Clara line that I don't want Cammy and Klaus. I actually even though I like Rebecca and Marcel a lot, I actually would rather Cami with Marcel than Klaus. So I just don't like Cami and Klaus together. It's not my move. Like, I don't like it. So
Personally, as much as I love, I'm gonna get so much for this. As much as I love Caroline and Klaus, I can accept that to happen in the
future.
very, 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 very far future.
So that's endgame for you. This is
Endgame. But I would prefer Marcel and Rebecca, that love situation, to happen quicker. I want to watch Marcel and Rebecca rebuild that. I just need to see Rebecca have that kind of happiness.
Have her
Whereas
moment,
with Klaus, I could finish the series up with knowing that Klaus and Caroline, you know what I mean? Just a simple little thing of him putting a ring down in front of it. Like, I could live with that. I need to see for Rebecca, for the arc of Rebecca's character, that happiness with a man. I personally, as a fan.
I know what you're saying, because if they were to just dangle it at the very last episode of the series, we would be like, how do we know that's going to stick? She's been here, she's been there. We need to see her transition and grow with somebody. I agree with that. But and like I said, I do prefer her with Marcel than Cami with Marcel, but I don't see this connection with Cami and Klaus. I see a friendship there, but I don't see a love connection. So.
But do you see it with Cami and Marcel? Like, I don't.
No.
I don't see I see Cami more with Klaus, but I don't see that relationship, like, being anything.
That's how I feel. The opposite, though. Like, I see her more with Marcel, but no, I don't really like. It's not like I'm pushing for it. It's just like, okay. And again, I think it's because I have a really hard time with Cami's character.
Yeah.
So. I'm like trying to place her.
I think they have a hard time.
I know. I'm always trying to place her, and then I'm like, she's out of place.
Well, let's head into predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV.
All right, let's start with Francesca talking about they need to disinfect the city. Where do we see that going? Where do we see? What are the teams? What do we think that we're going to come back into?
So. We've got Team Vampire, which seems to be a united front right now. Then we have two wolf teams, which are the Crescents and the Guerreras. And they, in my opinion, were a divided front, but if Oliver's swinging over to Francesca, he's still dedicated to his people, so maybe the wolves unite. And then we have the witches, who are posing as other people right now.
Where do we see what's happening? What's Esther in Cassie's body?
And then we have Cami.
What do we have with that?
So I don't know what Vincent means, or if this site is even accurate, but I'm interested to see what the deal is there. How did he come back to life? I don't know about Cassie's body. I think people are going to assume she's going to play it off like she's Cassie at first.
So really the only person she could talk to is Davina,
because she's the only one that's
Monique
left,
is dead.
Right, but I am curious. I don't remember, and this is for you guys at home. I'm sorry, because I'm sure this was a huge thing, but how did Esther and Michael's relationship, what was the ending point of it? Like, are they on
I would
decent...
like to know that, too.
I think that they're not on good terms. I don't remember exactly why. It could have been about Klaus.
I'm pretty sure. I think it was about Klaus.
But I'm curious, because now they're both back. Like, that's crazy.
Well, that's my prediction. Is I think the battle will come down to one of the parents are going to have to work with the kids, and they'll accept death. One of the parents. That's what I feel.
Well, I think that I predict that Francesca is dying. I don't think she's going to be around too long, and I also predict that Cami is going nowhere. She has all those dark objects in her possession, and she's going to utilize it.
Yeah, I don't think Cami's going anywhere either.
Cami is going nowhere.
Yeah.
Michael
and then keep in mind
Francesca
work together.
That's what I'm going to put out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see him. Well, I guess that's with the wolves. But maybe he'll utilize. But maybe he'll utilize the wolves. Because I just thought that end scene was interesting of him watching Klaus and Marcel.
Well, I see Michael utilize the Guerrero wolves to get rid of the Crescents.
I see Michael working more so with Cami because of the whole Davina having control of him.
With who?
Davina.
No, Cami will never work with Michael.
Yeah.
Because Cami loves Klaus, I guess.
He wouldn't come to Cami about anything about Klaus. he would come to Cami as far as getting or finding some kind of way to.
You're saying because Cami doesn't really know what Michael looks like.
Exactly.
Okay. Fair enough.
No one knows.
I think Cami is more likely to work with Cassie because Cassie will come to Davina and Davina will open the door, you know.
All right. And last but not least, the baby and Rebecca.
Yeah, so I think that this is a great opportunity for us to keep the baby on the back burner. So, you know, the baby's not dead, which means it can come back into play.
But just out of sight,
out of mind. We have no idea. Is this a Twilight situation? Is this baby, the next time we see it in a few months, going to be 22 years old?
Yeah.
We don't know. So it's really hard to predict what's going on there. But I do think that Rebecca is going to claim to be the baby's mom to the baby, you know, and the baby's going to grow up thinking that this is his mother. And it's going to, at some point, Hayley's going to want this baby to know that she's the mom, and that's going to be an issue.
Mm-hmm. I totally see that 100%. Any last predictions?
No.
Congratulations, Originals, because
Yeah.
y'all did that. You did it this season, I must say.
Hell yeah.
Every episode, you done trash TVD, so congratulations. And thank you guys for tuning in every single week and showing us so much love and being just as excited as we are about the show. Make sure you guys hit us up until next season.
Oh, yeah.
But also make sure you check out the Vampire Diaries finale here at AfterBuzz this Thursday. But until then, make sure you guys hit us up at AfterBuzz TV on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and tweet me at DJ Jesse J.
You can find me everywhere at Roxy Striar.
Yeah, so you can find me everywhere at Cortez G West.
Until next season, peace.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.